Hi everyone, welcome to today's tutorial. So today I am going to be showing you how to draft a basic sleeve. Okay, so we've had so many questions and so many requests about this particular tutorial. Not everyone seems to not get how it is actually done, so I'm going to be showing you how you can draft your sleeve, and I'm going to be using the DOM version, or what's also known as the quarter scale method of pattern drafting, to illustrate how to draft a basic sleeve. Okay, the things you're going to need for your basic sleeve are basically this. You're going to need your bicep circumference, so I'm using myself as an example, and mine is 13 inches. You're also going to be needing your cuff circumference. By cuff circumference I mean where you want your sleeve to stop, the circumference around that area is called your cuff. So mine is 9.5 because I want to make like a 3/4 sleeve. Then you have your sleeve length, which is minus 15 inches, and then you're also going to need your elbow circumference, and mine is 11.5 inches. So these are the body measurements you're going to need to draft out your basic bodice. Now I'll be using this piece of paper to illustrate how it works. So let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is make sure that the pattern paper or the fabric that you're going to use to draft your sleeve is your cuff length or your cuff circumference, that's 9 inches plus 1.5 inches. Now while 1 inch will serve as your seam allowance, the 0.5 will serve as your stitch allowance. So when you add this up, you have 10.5. so the width of your pattern paper should be about 10.5. Okay, now that we have that covered, the next thing you do is simply find the middle of your pattern paper. Okay, I'm going to assume that this is the middle, and I'm going to draw a straight line across it. Okay, great. Now this line should be your sleeve length. Okay, so I'm assuming that here is my sleeve head. Okay, let me write that, sleeve head, and here is my sleeve curve. Okay, so I'm assuming that this line right here is 15 inches plus 2 inches, so the length of this should be the sleeve length 15 inches plus 2 inches. Now this 2 inches is for folding, so 15 inches plus 2 inches will give you 17 inches. So I'm going to assume that this line right here is 17 inches. So I'm going to illustrate that right here. Okay, so this is the total length of our sleeve. So the next thing we are going to do is measure the distance between our sleeve head and our biceps. Now the standard measurement is 8 inches. The distance between the sleeve head and the biceps level is 8 inches. So I'm going to assume that here is my bicep level. Here from here is 8 inches. Okay, great. And I'm just going to extend this line to the end, okay, so that we can see that. Great. So I'm going to write it out that this is my bicep. Okay, great. So the next thing we are going to do is measure out our elbow. Now the elbow standard estimate for it is about 6.5. So it's estimated that from the biceps to the elbow is about 6.5. So I'm going to assume that here, this point right here is my elbow level. Okay, so from here to here is 6.5 inches. So I'm going to draw out a horizontal line across. Okay, so you can see that. So the next thing, we now have our cuff sleeve. Don't forget to measure your 2 inches from this cuff, your cuff level. So from the bottom right here, I'm just going to extend the line, okay, so you can see that very well. Okay, so I'm going to measure 2 inches from the bottom for my folding allowance. So I'm going to assume that here is my folding allowance. Okay, so I'm going to extend it. So I'm going to write it out here, 2 inches, and I'm going to write folding. Okay, so let's do a quick recap. From here to here, as we've already estimated, is our sleeve length plus 2 inches for folding. Okay, then from our sleeve head to this level is our biceps, and the standard measurement is 8 inches. Then from our biceps to this level, which is our elbow, is 6.5 inches, which is also the standard measurement, and we have that. Okay, so from the bottom I measure 2 inches upwards for the folding. Okay, this is what we have now for our sleeve. So the next thing we do is measure out our bicep circumference. Now you simply divide what you have by 2. Okay, mine is 13 inches. 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. So I'm gonna place my measuring my ruler, okay, and I'm going to assume from here to here about 2 inches, or let me put it out 2.5. Okay, 1.5. Okay, so I'm going to leave it on 1.5. So I'm going to assume that this 3 inches represents my my 6.5. So I'm just going to mark right here and here. You can see that. So I'm going to write it out here, 6.5 inches, 6.5 inches. So when you add them up together, you have a total of 13 inches. So the next thing we do is move to our elbow level. Okay, for my measurements, my elbow circumference is 11.5. So 11.5 divided by 2 will give you 5.75. Okay, so you go ahead I'm just going to use this little A curve to just give me a very straight point. Okay, so I'm just going to assume that here is my 5.75 and here is my 5.75. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is we'll go to our cuff length. Okay, so the cuff, my cuff circumference is actually 9.5. 9 divided by 2 will give you 4.5. So again, you can use your A square ruler to help you get an accurate measurement by placing it on the line, and it just helps you. By the way, this is my brother's ruler. That's why you can see why I can't do it. Okay, so I'm going to assume that here is my 4.5, 4.5, and here is my 5.75, 5.75 inches. So you can see the various points that I've created, which is this and this, 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 this. So we are going to join them together. Okay, then you just go on to close your folding. Okay. Then I'm going to join this and this, this and this. Okay, so you can see our sleeve. Okay, this is starting to take shape as our sleeve. Okay, my elbow didn't get here because of course I'm not using accurate figures, but if you're using accurate figures, you'll see that your bicep and elbow might just join equally. Okay, so now we have this. The next thing we're going to do is try to create that sleeve curve, okay, that most sleeve have, okay, so that it can fit the armhole properly. So the first thing you do is draw a straight line of about 5 inches from your biceps. So I'm going to find the middle of, first of all, to be able to draw this line, I'm going to find the middle of my biceps. So right here I have 1.5. okay, you might have more than that, of course. So 1.5 divided by 2 will give you 0.5, 0.75. So I'm going to assume my 0.75 is right here, and I'm going to do the same here. Okay, so now I'm going to draw my 5 inches long, okay, line. So I'm going to assume my one, let me put it down a little, is my 5 inches long vertical line. Okay. Okay, so this line right here should be 5 inches. Okay, this one indicates 5 inches, 5 inches. So now the next thing you do is measure, you know what, I'm just going to label this so that we can be using labels to understand. So let this top here be A, and let this be B, and let this be C, and let this be D, and let this be E. Okay, so now we are going to measure line A to C. Okay, using my ruler, I'm going to measure, and my ruler says it is 2 inches. Whatever you have, you divide by 4. So my inches is actually 2, but because we're not using accurate figures, I'm going to assume that when I divide it by 2, I have 0.5. okay, let's just go ahead and use it. 2 divided by 4, I have 0.5. So on this line right here, I'm going to measure 0.5 away from it and mark. I'm also going to do the same downwards and mark. Okay, I hope you can see that. So whatever you have at your line A and C, you divide it by 4. and then you measure it away from this vertical line that you have created. So you can decide which side you want to be your front. Okay, I forgot to mention that. So I'm going to use my blue pen to indicate that I want this part to be my front and I want this part to be my back before I can now start, you know, removing this 0.5 from this horizontal line. We took the distance between line A and C and we divided it by 4, and whatever value we had, measured it away from this horizontal line that is intersecting line AC. Okay, so I'm going to name this F and G. Okay, so at point F and point G, at point F we are going to measure 0.5 upwards. Okay, so let's assume this is 0.5 upwards. We're going to mark, okay, at point F. Then at point G we're going to measure 0.75 downwards. So from this point you measure 0.75 downwards and mark. Okay, I will repeat again. So at this point F, we already named this as point F and point G. At point F you measure 0.5 inches upwards. At point G you measure 0.75 inches downwards. Okay, and you just use your French curve ruler to join the points together. Okay, so we have something like this nature right here. Okay, so I'm going to use my marker so that you can see the lines very well. I hope you can see that. Okay, so succeeded in shaping our armhole for the front. Now we'll go to the back. Just like we did before, you just go ahead and measure the distance between line A and B. Okay, so I'm going to take my ruler and then I'm going to measure, and I still have 2 inches. Okay, so this 2 inches I'm going to divide it by 3. So 2 divided by 3, I'm going to have 0.6. So I'm going to go on to measure my 0.6 from this point. I'll assume it's here and I'll mark, and I'll do the same for the side and mark. Okay, so I'm going to name this H and I'm going to name this I, point H and point I. So the next thing we do is measure opposites. Okay, you can see that here is 0.75, okay, to reduce it below, and 0.5 to increase it. We're going to do the opposite for the side. We're going to measure 0.5 to reduce it, okay, and 0.75 to increase it. So that is just the difference of what we are trying to do. So I'm going to assume that this point is where my 0.75 is from here, and this point downwards is where my 0.5 is, and I'm just going to use my French curve ruler to shape it out. See how our sleeve now looks. So it's important that we reshape this in another pattern paper and make sure we add an fetch pattern paper. Okay, I'm going to retrace this and fetch. Now don't forget to add your 0.75-inch seam allowance. So I'm going to increase this again. And you are done. So this is our sleeve, and don't forget we'll be cutting it twice. So don't forget to indicate where the joinings meet, so you know where to get. So I want to thank you so much for joining me on today's tutorial, and I'll see you next time for my free tutorials. Bye bye.
It's physics. Another hits jam from WebLoaded.com.